Up next is one of the favorites here at the Venture Starters community, Lima. Good to have you back.
Thank you for having me. I've never been this early in the queue. All right, well, growing up, my father was very abusive to my sisters and I. I remembered everything, and that's why I wanted to go into mental health. But my sisters, identical twins, successful actresses, and YouTube stars, had no memory of the trauma. They had what's called complex PTSD. I don't know if anyone else is getting that weird feedback.
So up next is Lima.
Hello. Sorry, you caught me right as I was clicking on the link. So my pitch is, to date, mental health has been an invisible problem. To date, mental health has been an invisible problem.
Has been an invisible problem. An invisible problem.
A blind person trying to describe the color blue.
Kind of like a blind person trying to describe the color blue. Aura is a comprehensive system that allows clinicians to see how the patient is feeling.
And track recovery progress. And track recovery progress.
Innovate the mental health care industry with data so that treatment centers make more money. And
insurance companies save money.
Companies save billions of dollars.
I've led treatment initiatives and recovery planning for addictions, eating disorders, and severe mental illness for professional athletes, high-profile celebrities, and public figures, and I've been tremendously successful.
Welcome to BJ Investigates, a show I just created and might never do again. In the last episode of BJ Investigates, we looked into a just for fun, entertaining theory about Walt Disney having his head frozen and all the different fun theories about that. If you missed that one, make sure to go check it out. In today's episode, we are going to venture back into Bam, Lima, Amanda, twins, virtual reality hell territory and talk about Lima's recent appearance on a certain YouTube channel. Probably not the one you're thinking of. Apparently, in October of last year, unbeknownst to me at the time, someone did bring it to my attention, thank you very much, but Lima was going all around publicly on the internet trying to raise money for her little digital health startup or whatever it is, Aura, and I got the tapes. Now, I shouldn't say it like that because to be honest, they're still publicly available and you have the tapes too. In this special presentation of BJ Investigates, we are going to take the ever so slightest dive into Lima's presentations, because it was a bunch of them. And I really want to focus on how the presentation changes each time and talk about whether or not she may be in a little bit of trouble with regulators sometime soon. So if it's your first time on this channel, I'm BJ and I investigate things. Last year, I started investigating Bam Margera's conservatorship, and that naturally led me into investigating Bam's conservator, aka guardian. Now, I'm not 100% sure what this woman's birth certificate says, but she says she goes by Lima Jevremovic, so I start looking into Lima. One of the things that I found in my investigation almost right off the bat was that Lima had been a guest on a huge YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly. You might have heard of it before. There's millions of subscribers on that channel. But Lima showed up a few years ago on that channel, basically running a big advertising campaign for her little digital health company, Aura. So she was touting herself as an expert of sorts and talking with some air of authority about mental health problems, and she spoke a lot about having these twin sisters and all this other stuff, but she was there to promote what she was calling scholarship to help someone else that had been on the channel. Long story short, like I said, I don't want to get into all this. Y'all know this story if you follow this channel for a while, but long story short, Lima ends up attempting to get a guardianship over this woman who was also on the channel, Amanda. She's unsuccessful in getting the guardianship, but she ends up in charge of the woman's healthcare. Amanda passed away in treatment, and Lima was supposed to come back and tell the audience how she died. Like 7, 8, 9 something months goes by, Lima comes back on the channel, and everybody's really been waiting for this update on this Amanda girl, who Lima took over her healthcare and life. When she does come back, she's got these papers in her hand, acting like she's reading off the autopsy report. Just got the autopsy report the other day, or whatever she was saying. She said Amanda died from a seizure disorder. I requested the autopsy report, and it wasn't true. Didn't say nothing about no seizures anywhere, anytime. So I start blowing the whistle on it and telling people about it. But I just kept asking, why? Why would she just not tell the truth? Why wouldn't she just tell the truth? Why wouldn't she just read what was on the autopsy report? And that led me to start asking what else she wasn't telling the truth about. So that's the long story short of all you really need to know for right now today. You can go and watch a lot of my other videos on this woman if you're really interested in all the details of that, what I just said. For now, for today's video, that's all you really need to know. So back in fall 2022, Lima was apparently trying to find investors for her company, Aura. She started attending these live Zoom call meetings where hundreds of people sometimes would show up and try to pitch their business or their invention idea. So Lima appears to come and pitch her product, Aura, onto these people, like 5 or 6 times over the course of a few months. So these meetings are recorded live and posted to this YouTube channel called Venture Starters. Now, I did do a little research into Venture Starters, but that's not really the point of today's video, so I will keep it short. According to their website, as you can see on this little header thing right here, it says Venture Starters is a networking community that is an accelerator because they make it possible for startup teams to meet who they need to become successful. I don't know what they're talking about, but based on this banner at the top, it says where founders and investors meet. It implies to me that it's a place where founders meet investors. I mean, just based on the plain language of the header there. So the meetings are live each week. I think it's Wednesdays on Zoom, and these meetings are free for anyone in the public to attend. And founders, is what they call it, have 2 minutes to do a quote elevator pitch of their business or product idea. Anyway, the Venture Starters YouTube channel is about a year old, and they have like 3,500 or so subscribers. So pretty successful YouTube channel for just starting a year ago. It's seemingly run by a man named Mark November.
You're going to have to put your camera on if you want us to hear your pitch.
So let's take a look at Mark's website really quick. There's just one thing I want to point out here. So all this is as of the day of me recording this video, which is July 3rd through 9th sometime, 2023. So anything can change. One thing that I do know about these people is once I start investigating, stuff just starts getting deleted, some mysteriously disappearing, which is like what happened in this Disney Frozen transhumanism head thing situation. Stuff's getting deleted. But it's all here as of today, as of the time I'm recording this. So let's take a gander at the front page of Mark's website. See Mark in the top left corner there. And then if you go over like 4 spots or whatever, see that? That's the Lima in question. So this is not Venture Starters' website. This is Mark November's website. And the reason I wanted to point that out to y'all is because I've watched a lot of these Venture Starter videos and Lima does appear in 5 or 6 of them that I've been able to tell. But I never saw her wearing that outfit. Maybe she was wearing it at the beginning of one of the videos or something. She just took that thing off the top. I don't know. But it is on the front page of Mark November's website, the seeming owner of Venture Starters. Although Venture Starters doesn't actually seem to be like a company in and of itself unless it's based overseas or something. Anyway, moving on. So let's get into Lima's first Venture Starters pitch that I was able to find, and let's follow these pitches along to see what changes in each iteration. So here goes Lima in some public lobby, or I don't know what WeWork. I don't know where she, I don't know what this is, library, who knows, with this man. Now I did search this man's face in an image AI search or whatever and came up with this mugshot from 2019 in Hillsborough County, Florida. So full disclaimer, I don't know if this is the same guy, but the AI thought it was. So leave in the comments below whether you think it's the same guy or not. But in case you were wondering, this particular guy's name in the mugshot is this public information. His name's Anthony Lord, and he was arrested in Hillsborough County in 2019 for driving under the influence. For now, I don't really want to get in the weeds on this guy because I don't know if it's the same guy, but the AI thought it was. There is some evidence it could be other than the AI, because Lima, when she first attempted to put BAM into a Florida conservatorship, she started out in Hillsborough County. It was like her chosen venue to try and start the conservatorship proceedings. So she does have some type of ties to Hillsborough County, and she has filed court paperwork in their courts and had her wards going through the court system in Hillsborough. So I don't know if this is the same guy or not. I don't want to get in the weeds. But I did want to address, yes, I see the guy. Yes, this is what I know about him, because he's sitting there in the video the whole time making these stupid faces, and it makes the whole thing way worse, cringier, and weirder, which is probably why he never appears in any of the videos ever again. But you'll see what I mean, and I know people are going to comment about it, so I just wanted to address him. So let's get into her actual pitch. Now, we're definitely not gonna watch all her pitches all the way through, but I do wanna watch this first one all the way through to get the baseline because stuff gets a little squirrely from there.
So up next is Lima.
Hello. Sorry, you caught me right as I was clicking on the link to check it out.
She was leaving.
Okay.
Just so y'all know, this is about an hour and 50 minutes. It's almost 2 hours into like this meeting, and we'll make a whole nother video maybe on Surprise Witness showing y'all who else is pitching.
Well, thank you guys all for having me. So my pitch is, to date, mental health has been an invisible problem, and insurance companies have been reluctant to treat it like physical health due to the lack of insight and the 90% relapse rate after completing opioid and alcohol addiction treatment.
Insurance companies have been reluctant to treat it as physical health because of the lack of insight and because of the relapse rate.
Our solution is data-driven healing.
Data.
My name is Lima Jevremovic, and I'm the founder of Aura, Telehealth for Mental Health.
Remember that she refers to this as Aura, telehealth for mental health.
Aura is a comprehensive system that allows clinicians to see how the patient is feeling and track recovery progress. Our proprietary technology uses machine learning to track progression, regression, risk levels of patients, and create individualized patient-centered recovery plans. Our team has extensive experience within healthcare and insurance industries.
Our team has extensive experience within healthcare and insurance industries.
Already had market exposure with our technology in hospitals and clinics. Mental health is a $300 billion industry in the US alone, and the US healthcare industry is $2.5 trillion. We plan to start.
So she just told you all the money you could make. 3 billion, 2.5 trillion.
In the mental health industry and expand to target healthcare as we grow to tackle this global epidemic.
What's the global epidemic? I don't know. I mean, she did talk about substance, opioid, rehab, recovery, but is that the epidemic? What's the global epidemic? Because it feels just like a buzzword.
Our technology is ready for market. We're raising $1.5 million to close out our current round of funding and deliver our products to clients. The funds will be used to expand our team since the technology is already built out, and so that we can sell our software to treatment centers and insurance companies. Our mission is to innovate the mental health care industry using data and treat mental health like physical health so that treatment centers make more money.
You heard her first stated goal? Listen to the second one.
Insurance companies save money.
Look what she saved for last.
And patients actually get better. We reduce the relapse rate.
That's an astonishing claim. We reduce with confidence. With confidence. Can we roll that back? I want to hear her whole mission again, one more time. Just to, this is the order she's choosing to go in, okay?
They're using data and treat mental health like physical health so that treatment centers make more money, insurance companies save money, and patients actually get better. We reduce the relapse rate.
We reduce the relapse rate. Give me proof. I want to see proof. And I might get to actually ask for that. I might get to ask for some proof. Come think of it. I will. I'm going to ask. I want the proof that we actually reduce. Can you just one more time to reduce the relapse rate? I like how she says it with such a big smile. Like she's real confident about it.
Using data and treat mental health like physical health so that treatment centers make more money, insurance companies save money, and patients actually get better. We reduce the relapse rate.
She said it like she's talking like Alice YY Chang. Like she's very like, I'm stupid. Like we reduce the relapse rate. You didn't hear her? Well, it'll come as a surprise, probably not to you. She never says that again in any of the rest of the pitches. She never does say it again. But you all heard it. We reduce the relapse rate. I'm gonna be asking for some proof.
So who's ready to join forces with us?
Not me.
And innovate the mental health care revolution.
Thank you. Great pitch. Hope to see you again at other events. Then maybe you can pitch earlier in the evening so we can ask follow-up questions. I'm going to need to move on. Up next is G.
So there was no time for follow-up questions, but that's okay. We're going to get into some follow-up questions coming up here shortly. So for me, I did pause on the takeaways that I remembered, but the key takeaways for me are how Lima defines ARA. She says, it's ARA. I'm the founder of ARA, telehealth for mental health. You'll realize why this is important later. Just remember that for now. Also, when she's talking about her team, she says they have extensive experience within healthcare and insurance industries. Okay, remember that because she only says those two. And Lima lays out ARA's mission, which is to, let's say them all together with each other, help recovery centers make money, help insurance companies save money. Oh, and actually help people get better. Okay, that's literally mission. I'm quoting mission. Mission number 1, make more money for recovery centers. That's her mission. Her mission. Help recovery centers make more money. No wonder she's not arguing how high the damn cost of rehab is. She wants to help them make more money. Hello? Insurance companies save money. Well, she's only saying that because she has to pitch it to them some kind of way. Her whole goal is to get insurance companies to cover her shit. That's what she wants. So, yeah, you're going to save money. Oh, and maybe we could help people, I don't know, maybe, who knows, make more money for recovery centers. Anyway, she also makes that final astounding claim. We reduce the relapse rate. Well, I want to see proof, and I'm going to ask for some. That's pretty much all I want to say about that first one. Let's move to the second one. So be on the lookout. Main difference between this pitch, and we'll probably just put the clips in, is that in this November 2nd pitch, she refrains from that astounding claim that they reduced the relapse rate. She just goes ahead and doesn't make that claim anymore. Now, on her first appearance on the Venture Starters, she was not able to take questions. So today's the first day she can take questions. So I want to roll to those questions.
Lima, you're up next.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, Mark. Today, mental health has been an invisible problem, and insurance companies have been reluctant
What y'all think happened to the other half of her eyebrow?
to treat it like physical health due to the lack of insight and 90% relapse rate
Where did they move us?
for alcohol and opioid addiction.
They can't hear
It's
us.
costing insurance companies billions of.
You didn't unmute.
Pardon?
Lord help me. Coach.
Our
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no worries. Our
That's that like sociopath laugh whenever they really want to like jump out the screen and claw out your liver. Yeah, I know.
solution is data-driven healing. My name is Lima Jevremovic, and I'm the founder of Aura, telehealth for mental health. Aura is a comprehensive system that allows clinicians to see how a patient is feeling and track recovery progress. Our proprietary
Also, the man ain't here no more. You see her friend's gone.
technology uses machine learning to track progression, regression, and risk levels of patients to create individualized patient-centered care.
One thing I find very alarming is this track risk levels, because what they're basically trying to do is to predict if someone's going to relapse, and she'll say intervene, but I think that probably means put them in isolation or some type of confinement against their will.
And recovery plans. Our team has extensive experience within the healthcare industries and insurance industry.
Healthcare and insurance.
We've also had market exposure, and our technology has been used in hospitals and clinics. Mental health is a $300 billion industry in the US alone. The US healthcare industry is $2.5 trillion, and we plan to scale mental health and then expand to healthcare in general as we grow and tackle the global epidemic. Our technology
Which one? Which one at this point? You know what I mean? I think is a valid question.
is ready for market. We're raising $1.5 million.
So she didn't raise no money since the last one, I guess.
Close out our current round of funding and deliver our products to clients. The money from the funds is going to be used to expand our team since our technology is already ready to go. So we can deliver our software to treatment centers and insurance companies. And our mission is to innovate mental health care with data so that we can treat mental health like physical health. And so that treatment centers can make more money, insurance companies can save money, and patients actually get better. So who's ready to join forces with me and create the mental health revolution?
Hey, Lima, this is
So still got the same mission, make the recovery centers and the treatment centers more money, save the insurance's money. And all right, this man's about to ask, what's the major avatar of your, I don't exactly know what this question exactly is, but he's using the word client and he said who. So I'm kind of feeling like he's asking, who's your perfect client?
Hey, Lima, this is Kurt. Who's the perfect avatar of the first major client bases that you want to go after?
Insurance companies.
Who's your client? Who do you want to go after? Insurance companies with confidence. Why?
Because they're the payers. And also Apple just announced about 2 weeks ago that they're going into the insurance market. They're going to start using data from devices to save money on insurance costs.
I don't even know if we're allowed to even air this. I'll just repeat what she said and give no opinions at all. Apple just announced 2 weeks ago that they're going to be going into the insurance market and they're going to use data they collect from devices to, quote, save money on insurance. That's what she said.
And that's essentially what our platform does.
Great. And
that's what her platform does. Gathers data from people to save money on insurance is what she just said. Can you play that back?
Insurance companies, because they're the payers. And also Apple just announced about 2 weeks ago that they're going into the insurance market. They're going to start using data from devices to save money on insurance costs. And that's essentially what our platform does.
Great. So
essentially what Aura does is collects data from devices and uses it to save money on insurance costs. That's what she just said. I didn't know that. She just said it.
Schedule with me or hit me up on LinkedIn. I've got
He's interested.
some ideas of how I would fund it if it was me. I've got a funding background. That's what I do. But there's probably some companies out there, and you've never heard of this capital type before. I call it sponsored capital. But there are groups out there that will probably be so aligned with what you're doing that they will give you money that is not debt and it's not equity. So we can talk about that and how you can start to really be thinking about, how do I go after capital that is not debt and it's not equity? If it's not debt and it's not equity, what is it? It's revenue.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. I'll connect.
How's someone going to give you revenue?
Okay. Anybody
Like
else?
a paid pilot. Hey, Lima, this is Keith. How are you? Great presentation.
Thank you
I love
so
the
much,
space
Keith.
Also. I think you're going to make a lot of money for yourself and your investors. Where are you right now in your fundraising? It was a little vague in terms of the exact size of the round. And is it a
Now to hear Lima tell it, me reporting on her, not telling the truth about how Amanda Rabb died, it's done. Made it to where she can't even do nothing. Her whole website's boohooing and crying about how she can't even have her merch shop because of the lawsuit. And listen what she's about to say with that in mind. She had to raise money for Amanda Rabb's funeral. Couldn't even bury the girl, had to cremate her because they didn't have enough money to bury her. Listen what she's about to say.
what's your revenue forecast for 23?
Our revenue forecast is around $50 million.
This is at the end of 2022. This is months after she sued me, talking about I'm the reason she can't, whatever bullshit, lies. She's talking in November 2022 about her revenue projections for next year. $50 million. And she said, and that's conservative.
And it's conservative. It's based off of our current the treatment centers in my network as well.
The same exact number of treatment centers are still in her network that have agreed to use Aura as before I ever knew she existed. 19. She'll try to act like treatment centers are reluctant to work with her. The same exact number are still signed up from before that are now.
As my team members, and also the fact
Did nobody leave?
that we're targeting government contracts and insurance companies.
Write that down in your notebook. We're targeting government contracts. She just said it and she ain't gonna say it again.
And how many of those do you have sort of verbal or soft invoices for at this point?
We have 19 treatment centers that are signed up, and also have approximately 3,000 treatment centers that are in my network. And
He's asking like how many people have agreed to use it. She's like, I know about some places and
that does not include my team members.
Lima, I love it. I want to learn some more, so let's connect on LinkedIn. And where are you based, by the way?
In Los Angeles.
I've never heard of it, but I'll look it up on a map. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Keith.
Okay.
Hey, quick question. Is it
who are these twins? Did they go to Tulsa, Oklahoma? What's it called? Union Senior High School with them 27 sets of twins over there?
you said it's a priced round. What is it priced at?
At a $10 million valuation. So we're selling 15% for $1.5 million.
She's telling a group of investors who say they have backgrounds in funding that she's selling, it's like an offer, selling 15% of her company for $1.5 million.
And a pre-money or post-money?
We did have revenues, but we had to refund them because we couldn't meet the deliverables.
I know it's going to be the longest video ever, but she said we had to refund all the revenues because we couldn't meet the deliverables. But she's now said 2 or 3 times that the product's ready to go and she just needs this money to expand her team. Her team was the reason she couldn't meet the deliverables. Her team was the reason there's no revenues. That doesn't make sense.
So at present, we are pre-money, which is why it's a lower valuation.
So no revenues. That's what he basically asked. What's your revenue? She said none.
God, well, yeah, okay. Thank you.
So everybody that's interested, meet Lima in the chat. And Lima, please come on Saturday if you have time to pitch us. Justin, before you get started, I just want to mention real quick to the rest of the audience, please, nobody else raise your hand digitally to speak today. I have 10 more people left. We have 35 minutes. I'd like to try.
Mark and me, same vibes right now.
And get everybody
Please, nobody else.
in. So
literally 2 days goes by, like 3 maybe, and Lima's back on Venture Starters again. The main takeaways from this appearance for me are, remember that whole my team has extensive experience in the healthcare and in the insurance industries or whatever she said. She's gonna add something here. I want y'all to pay attention to what she adds. That being said, she's no longer talking about government contracts and targeting them. And there is another question at the end of this one. So let's get into that.
next is Lima.
All right, sorry, I had to take a sec to unmute myself. Thanks so much for having me. So today, mental health has been an invisible problem, and insurance companies have been reluctant to treat it like physical health due to the lack of insight and the 90%
If y'all are bored with her, imagine being me sitting through all of it many times.
relapse rate for completing alcohol and opioid addiction treatment. Our solution is data-driven healing. My name is Lima Jevremovic. I'm the founder of Aura, a company that does telehealth for mental health.
A telehealth for...
So Aura is a comprehensive system that allows clinicians to see the invisible problem, to see how a patient is feeling, and to track recovery progress. Our proprietary technology uses machine learning to track progress, regression, risk levels of patients, and individualized patient-centered planning. I've led treatment initiatives and recovery planning for addictions, eating disorders, severe
Listen what she's about to say.
mental illness for professional athletes, high-profile celebrities, and public figures, and I've been tremendously successful in doing so.
Show me one success. Dahlia and Dia? No. Don't even know where they missing. Bam? No. He don't even want to be sober. Amanda Rab?
The thing all of these people had in common was that they could afford to cash pay about $45,000 per month when insurance cut them off.
Y'all remember her mission? Make the recovery centers more money?
Aura is all about setting a uniform standard of care for mental health and scaling accessibility and insurance coverage so that we can treat mental health like physical health using data. Our team has extensive experience within healthcare and insurance industries, as well as government initiatives.
Y'all heard that one sneak in there? Extensive experience. Insurance and healthcare, and government initiatives. Her team has extensive experience with government initiatives, and her revenues for next year are conservatively projected at $50 million. That's her words, not mine. That ain't even me speculating. If you ask me what I really believe, I think she's full of shit. I don't think them revenues going to be nowhere near 50 million. I think it's laughable. But she said that her revenues are projected conservatively at $50 million for 2023.
We've also had market exposure with our technology in hospitals and clinics. Mental health is a $300 billion industry in the US alone, and the US healthcare industry is $2.5 trillion. So we plan to start in mental health and then scale and expand into healthcare in general to tackle this global epidemic. And as many of you guys have already stated, the healthcare industry in terms of medical records and information about the patients is very, very fragmented, and most clinicians won't be able to access all of that data to actually help the patient. So our technology is ready for market. We're raising $1.5 million to close out our current round of funding and deliver our products to clients. The funds will be used to expand our team and so that we can sell our software to treatment centers and insurance companies. Our mission is to innovate the mental health care industry with data so that treatment centers make more money and insurance companies save billions of dollars on relapses, and
She had a little extra tail in there because I was wondering how I was going to say billions.
patients actually get better. So who's ready to join forces in the mental health revolution? Thank you.
Thanks, Lima, for being an active participant the last few events. So appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions of Lima?
Yeah, real quick, Mark. Lima, do you, is your platform portable? One of my investments is My Persona, and it's a telehealth platform that is about emotional wellness, but they are open to plugins, if you will.
So this guy invests in a company that does telehealth type stuff for emotional wellness. And he's kind of asking, can your little thing you have, your little project, can it be used in companion with another app? Are you open to stuff like that?
Is yours a portable application, if you will?
Yeah.
Remember, she's been calling this Aura, telehealth for mental health, for like, 3 episodes now? I'm the founder of Aura, telehealth for mental health, okay? This guy's like, all right, I got a telehealth app I'm investing in. Can it couple up with this? Listen to her.
Yeah, so we're definitely open to collaborations where we do have a telehealth component to our application, but we are a data company, and
We have a telehealth component, but we're a data company? Tell us how you really feel, girl.
I'm open to collaborating with other opportunities.
Great, we'll sync up. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else real quick?
So Aura's now a data company, according to Lima. In addition to those two things, I can't help but notice that this is her 4th investor pitch in a couple weeks, and she's not mentioned virtual reality or even augmented reality a single time. And that was the main thing she focused on whenever she was pitching it to Mark Leta's audience on Soft White Underbelly. She's also not mentioned the fact that she's in a lawsuit that she pursued, and she also didn't mention that someone who she was trying to help with this software already died. So I'm starting to wonder whether this is material omissions or misstatements, subjecting her to potential liability with regulators and even investors. Is she not saying anything about the virtual reality aspect because of the whole Amanda Rabb thing? It seems kind of weird. What even is Aura? Is it a telehealth for mental health like she keeps saying in the investor pitches? Is it data-driven healing like they say on the website and elsewhere? Is it a data company like she just told that guy? Or is it a wellness supplements and healthcare solutions software business like she put under penalty of perjury in her lawsuit against me? I don't know. I feel like every time she has to define what Aura is, a different vague pile of words falls out of her mouth. So then another guy comes on and he's asking a question. Rajiv, I think his name is Rajiv. He comes on, asks a question, and then Lima answers it. It's about veterans, and she already used her product on a veteran or something, piloted on veterans. And then the guy's like, okay, let's link up.
You guys thought of talking to the VA? Because I'm sure with PTSD, this could be an awesome case study for you guys.
Definitely. We've actually worked with veterans, and we have piloted our technology with veterans and with eating disorders and addiction. And right now we're just getting ready to start selling the products, but we're looking for support so that we can have tech support, customer service, and sales. So I'm not the only person doing all of that.
Okay, we'd love to see your deck. And
okay, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the question. We're going to need to move on, though. I'm sorry, Jack.
Totally.
Is that you, Jack?
No, Tara Lynch. It's okay. It's trying to figure out how she worked with veterans already, but that's okay. I'll chat offline.
Soliciting interest for potential investors, and they are interested and they want to meet up with her or talk to her in some way. So then she comes on, I guess about 10 days later, week and a half later, she comes on again. And we're almost done here, but it's new Lima footage after all. Now, this pitch basically follows exactly the same script as the previous ones in some iteration, except she adds a whole sob story in the beginning, and it would actually probably be effective if she was convincing or compelling. But I'm just gonna let y'all watch it. Let's see.
Up next is one of the favorites here at the Venture Starters community, Lima. Good to have you back.
Thank you for having me. I've never been this early in the queue. All right. Well, growing up, my father was very abusive to my sisters and I.
Why is she smiling like that while she's saying it?
I remembered everything, and that's why I wanted to go into mental health. But my sisters, identical twins, successful actresses, and YouTube stars, had no memory of the trauma. They had what's called complex PTSD. I don't know if anyone else is getting that weird feedback, so I just
Oh, Lord.
muted and unmuted. 9 years ago, they began to experience symptoms of
She covered up that shaved off eyebrow. Bless her heart.
severe mental illness. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. 9 years ago, they
She must have got into a fight with the glue she uses for a disguise.
began to experience
That was a joke.
symptoms of severe mental illness. They went to see a mental health professional, and that was just the beginning of the end for them.
This lady who wants to make recovery centers more money is what she's talking about right now. It was the beginning of the end for her sisters. But she wants to help them same people make more money as a mission of her company. How'd that work?
The psychiatrist had no tools to treat my sisters. He simply just asked them, "How are you feeling?" And based on my sister's description of their own psychological condition, kind of like a blind person trying to describe the color blue.
She says this a lot and it makes no sense to me. I am not blind and I cannot describe the color blue. How do you describe the color blue? You go ahead and try. Oh, it's what you get when you mix so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Okay, maybe, yeah, something like that. But like, describe the color blue. Go ahead. If you're not blind, go ahead. Who can describe colors? That's all you can only reference. It's not a description. And it's like, this genius thinks she really has the analogy of the century. It's like when a blind person tries to describe colors, LOL. Okay, you describe the color blue. You can't. Blue is the descriptor.
A feeling that they've never felt before.
And blind people could have seen blue before. Not everybody's born blind, girl. Miss Health Professional.
They gave them they diagnosed and prescribed them a concoction of medications.
Same thing that happened to Bam and the same thing that happened to Amanda. So here she go acting like she's trying to fix everything, trying to make the same people that's still doing this exact thing to her wards, people in her care, trying to make those people more money. It's sick. She's admitting to knowing all the problems and still wants to make more money for them.
And my sisters were misdiagnosed for 3 years, developed an addiction to their psychiatric medications, and have been trapped in the cycle of relapse repeat for nearly a decade. Not only is this problem keeping my sisters sick, alongside millions of Americans, but it's costing insurance companies billions of dollars. Our solution is data-driven healing. My name is Lima Jevremovic, and I'm the founder of Aura, telehealth for mental health. Aura is
even though it was a data company last time. So she added that whole story, but honestly, it just makes things much worse for her. Interesting, she doesn't mention anything about targeting government contracts. She don't talk about targeting insurance companies or going after them. And she don't mention any extensive experience with government initiatives on this one. Nobody had any questions for her on this one, so we can move on to her last and final appearance. This one's on December 3rd, 2022. So on this pitch, she did stick with the whole sisters, not remembering the trauma, misdiagnosed, color blue, relapse, repeat. She kept that in. And again, doesn't mention anything about targeting government contracts. And again, does not mention anything about her team having extensive experience with government initiatives. And she never shows up on this program ever again, as far as I can tell. Other than the fact that I couldn't tell you for sure what Aura is, or what they do, or what they're selling, or what the goal is, or the purpose of the company. Because all the conflicting and various definitions and explanations, I'm also starting to wonder whether Miss Lima Girl is opening herself up to liability from investors or even potentially federal regulators. It's very clear that Lima is presenting this company Aura to potential investors in the hopes that they will invest money into her company in return for some type of financial benefit. The evidence of this is endless, but just to name a few, the front page of the Venture Starters website says where founders and investors meet, and they were on Venture Starters. The spiel is repeatedly referred to as a pitch by Lima and others. She explicitly states that she is selling 15% of the company for $1.5 million. At least one seemingly potential potential investors did ask to see Lima's deck, that was Rajiv, meaning informational materials about investing in Aura, and people identifying themselves as investors ask questions that you would traditionally expect investors to ask. For example, what's Aura's valuation? What's it worth? What round of funding Lima is in? How much money she had raised for Aura so far? How much, if any, revenue that Aura had generated by that point? And what the projected or the forecast of revenues was for the very next year, which would be 2023, the one we're in right now. To which Lima responded, $50 million, and it's conservative. The owner of Venture Starters, Mark November, the one with Lima on his front page of his website, he even gave a little hype up moment for Aura, kind of encouraging people to invest in it.
I personally have had a chance to take a deeper dive into Lima's business model. It's spectacular. If we have investors in the room, you really should be talking to Lima.
Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has rules in place that startup founders like Lima have to follow when they pitch their companies to investors. According to the SEC's rules, a company founder, such as Lima, must disclose any, quote, material information to potential investors when trying to get investors for their company. The SEC has stated that this is a quote, the fundamental principle of full and fair disclosure is that a listed entity should provide all information that would be material to an investor's investment decision. So if an investor would think that it was material to know before they invested, then it's material. Now, this listed entity in that previous definition I just gave about the SEC kind of implies that they're talking about companies listed on the stock exchanges, which would be publicly traded companies, but that would not be a correct assumption to make. The SEC regulates privately negotiated securities transactions, such as Aura soliciting investments. So the SEC will pursue suspected investor fraud involving privately held companies, whether in fundraising or sales by insiders or even in disclosures to a company's own employees in connection with the employee stock options. So the SEC even wants to regulate that. To give just one example, in April 2019, the SEC announced that it had reached a settlement of fraud claims against the founder of Jumio Inc., a private mobile payments company. The wrongdoing alleged by the SEC was that the company's CEO misled investors about the company's financial prospects. According to the SEC press release, the CEO enriched himself at investors' expense by making false claims about the company's financial results, quote. The release went on to say that, quote, company executives must provide investors with accurate information, irrespective of whether their companies are publicly or privately traded. Now, as a consequence for this alleged wrongdoing in that SEC case back in 2019, the CEO had to pay over $17 million to settle those charges with the SEC. He's also not allowed to be an officer or director of a publicly traded company in the United States ever again. So basically, this guy was less than truthful about the full state of his company. Investors relied on the statements, which were allegedly less than truthful. They forked over money to him in reliance, and the guy got in big trouble for that because he wasn't truthful. Now, just to be abundantly clear, this is a different case than the one we're looking at, and I am not making any allegations of wrongdoing. I am not an SEC enforcement agent, and I never have been. I really don't know. What I am doing is pontificating on whether the SEC would find it, quote, material that Lima's doing these investor pitches without giving the potential investors the full story about Aura, including Amanda Rabb's passing while using Aura as part of her treatment, including Lima then lying about the cause of death, saying that it was a seizure disorder when it was clearly marked as cardiac arrhythmia on the autopsy report she claimed to be reading from. And I wonder if the SEC would think it is material that there's ongoing litigation and Lima didn't disclose it in these 5 or 6 investment pitches after she pursued the litigation. Leave it in the comments down below if you, as a potential hypothetical investor, would find any of those things material, because I think that I probably would. So, as of the day of recording this video, all those pitches are still up on Venture Starters and available to view today. So go back and watch them if you're so inclined. Who knows? You might even find something that I didn't find, and if you do, send it to me. That's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.